Disney live-action remakes and their consequences have been a disaster for humanity. So I finally watched the 8th world wonder, the Little Mermaid 2023 remake.
You guys are talking game?
And just as I predicted, it was painfully bad. Every time Disney announced something new about this movie, like a new trailer, a new poster, or a new song, the more it made me realize that The Little Mermaid was the first Disney remake that was trying to fail as hard as possible before its release date. Bland acting, awful realistic design for the animal characters, and then this.
In the swamp when I was like, wham, chicka, wham, wham, chicka, wham.
So with that being said, let's talk about it. The scene of Triton destroying Ariel's grotto is painfully bad. It is devoid of all meaning behind it. King Triton is deeply worried about Ariel's behavior and how she keeps crossing the line the more contact she has with the human world, to the point he makes the ultimate choice to destroy all her belongings as his final effort to make her stay away from them. But he also knows that doing so will hurt her feelings terribly. He cares about Ariel's safety, but he can't stay indifferent to her sadness, hence why he leaves her with pain in his eyes. He's a kind father who loves his daughter, but he's also harsh when he must be. He didn't want to hurt his daughter, and it pains him that he is the very cause of Ariel's sadness, regardless of how much he did all that only to protect her. As kids, we could only sympathize with Ariel because we could only understand her pain. But as we grow up, we get to understand the meaning behind Triton's actions, and most importantly, the reason why he did it. But in this remake, he's simply a jerk. He just destroys everything and leaves her in a cold, insensitive way, not giving a damn about Ariel's feelings, and that's just it. The original scene shows the dilemma parents go through when they must harshly punish their kids for their sake, but also how parents will understand their kids' pain and feel sorry for them. All meaning the original scene had is simply gone while we're given useless filler plot about Ariel's mother being killed by humans. They completely missed the point of this scene, and it's painful.
You don't seem at all like Father described you.
What a dumb line. Ursula is supposed to be terrifying. The whole point of Ariel meeting Ursula is to show how Ariel is scared of her, but we'll go on with what Ursula says because of how emotionally broken and fragile she is. Kids will be scared of Ursula, but adults will appreciate how sassy her malicious nature was in terms of writing a compelling and interesting villain. Something Disney could do very well in the past, but sadly that has been undermined in live-action remakes, and Melissa McCarthy's Ursula proves to be an utter disappointment. Plus, live-action Ariel says that Ursula is not how her dad described her, implying that her father was too harsh on Ursula, only for Ursula to tell Ariel that if she fails to be kissed by Eric, she will basically become her slave forever in the end.
Think, Mark!
And just in case, I slipped a little something extra into that spell of mine. No matter how hard that girl tries, she won't remember she needs to get that kiss.
This is so stupid. Ursula was the villain, but she was never dishonest about all the risks and consequences of the contract she made with Ariel. Ariel consented to Ursula's terms of the contract, being fully aware of its risks. Hence why Triton is unable to destroy the contract later on in order to free Ariel from her, because their deal was perfectly legal. Hence why Triton is forced to swap places with Ariel to save her. That was the logical way in the story for Ursula to finally possess the trident, which was Ursula's main goal all along and the reason she was using Ariel in the first place. It was all connected. But now that Ursula was dishonest about the terms of the contract, given that Ariel was unaware of a specific spell in it that gives her amnesia, then there's no reason for their deal to be indestructible, because it was never legal to begin with, which breaks continuity with all the other events throughout the movie as a result. Plus, giving Ariel amnesia every time someone talks about the kiss is so lame because it undermines Ariel's efforts to be kissed by Eric. During her 3 days on Earth, the audience is supposed to hope for Ariel to get what she wants, to root for her every time she was this close from getting her kiss, because we understand her feelings for Eric, but also what's at stake if she fails to do so. If she doesn't remember about her main goal of kissing Eric to be with him forever and also to escape from Ursula, then what in the world is she doing up there? All her hard work, the climax, the hurry, all is gone because even Ariel doesn't know what she is supposed to do to get her happily ever after by getting kissed. But more than that, apparently Ursula's amnesia spell only affected Ariel's memories of the need of getting her true love's kiss.
She won't remember she needs to get that kiss.
So with that being said, it's perfectly reasonable to believe that Ariel still remembers about the 3-day deadline, and that she will become Ursula's slave at the end of the 3rd day. So to have Ariel's memories of her deal with Ursula intact about everything except for the kiss is dumb and makes no sense. Plus, this live-action remake contradicts itself by showing Ariel excited and yearning to be found by Eric and forget about the kiss altogether. The moment she hears that the prince is coming to see her, she longs to be before his presence. So how come can she be so excited to see someone only for her to not even know what she needs to do with that person, given that she keeps forgetting that she needs to kiss him? This amnesia thing is lazy writing, it is stupid, it makes no sense, it undermines Ariel's struggles, and it will also retcon the whole point of the song Kiss the Girl.
We'll go tomorrow.
But sire...
Oh, Grimsby, good. We'll need a horse and carriage ready for us in the morning.
May I have a quiet word, sir? We were going to send out all the carriages tomorrow to look for the girl.
The girl? I wasn't thinking. Of course, yes. We must do that. Absolutely.
They absolutely inverted both Grimsby's and Eric's roles in this dumb remake. Both in the original animated movie and in this remake, Grimsby worries about Eric's well-being, but in the original movie, Eric is the one who continues to search for the mystery girl at the cost of leaving Ariel aside, whereas Grimsby is the one who tries to open Eric's eyes, saying that he's so focused in finding the girl he's looking for, when actually maybe he has already found her. Despite that actually being the case, that Ariel was indeed who Eric was looking for. What Grimsby's words to Eric actually meant is that he recognized the good girl Ariel actually was. He saw her real value despite her lack of voice. He could see how genuinely happy Eric was with Ariel, and how Eric was going through the risk of ending up losing her over an endless search for a girl he could maybe never find. Grimsby's advice to Eric to choose to stay with Ariel and let go of his search confirmed the whole point of the song Kiss the Girl that takes place a few minutes before that scene. But in this remake, Grimsby is the one who insists to search for the mystery girl instead of Eric himself.
Eric, be reasonable. Nice young ladies just don't swim around rescuing people in the middle of the ocean and then flitter off into oblivion like some...
I'm telling you, Grim, she was real. I'm gonna find that girl. And I'm gonna marry her.
Whereas Eric looks determined to stay with Ariel and doesn't seem to care about the search that much right after that in this remake, when actually that change undermines Eric's resolution to choose Ariel and to stop his search.
Use your words, boy, and ask her.
I loved how the lyrics of the song are stupidly changed to please a bunch of whiners who were never fans of the animated movie to begin with. This speaks tons about the actual audience Disney live-action remakes are actually made for. This whole amnesia thing of Ariel forgetting about the kiss gets worse the more this movie drags along. In this scene, it is clear how she is the one who pulled the kiss off, but she's only supposed to forget about the kiss.
She won't remember she needs to get that kiss.
And not rejected if she still remembers about the fact that she loves him, as we can safely suppose. Plus, it ends up contradicting the actual point of the song. In the animated movie, when Kiss the Girl starts playing, Eric is fallen for Ariel, but he still resists to do so due to her lack of voice. And because of that, he still believes that he must continue to search for the real girl out there. The point of Kiss the Girl is to tell Eric to listen to his heart and not let Ariel's lack of voice deter him from having feelings for her, but to completely fall in love with her, to let go of his search and to acknowledge that Ariel is the one he had been looking for all this time. But in this stupid remake, Ariel is the one who avoids the kiss, and Eric is the one who's willing to kiss her. They simply got everything wrong. Why would they sing this entire song to encourage Eric to kiss her when he already has shown that he wants to, while Ariel is the one evading him? If the original song's point is to convince him, then what's the point if he already looks convinced enough? This dumb movie misses the point of the original song and the character's motivations completely.
Then ask, should we continue the search?
I feel a little...
Well, if you want the advice of an old man, sire, don't be held back by what you think should be. Think only of what is.
This scene makes no sense, because it was already shown in this stupid remake that Eric was favorable towards Ariel and not that concerned about the search for the mystery girl ever since he started talking to her. He was never shown being iffy or uncertain about Ariel, unlike the animated movie, so it makes no sense for him to feel uncertain now when he has already shown the opposite from the beginning. This is simply the stupid remake trying to show Eric's dilemma of leaving his search behind to be with Ariel or to continue to look out for the mystery girl anyway. But it's already too late. Continuity has been broken, the retcon has already happened, and this pathetic remake has already missed the point of the motivation and growth of the original characters.
Sung in the swamp and I was like, wham, chicka, wham, wham.
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals.
Making Ariel recover her voice by making a girl fight scene is so stupid because it wasn't empowering. It was simply as amusing as seeing two random schoolgirls fighting to death at high school. Plus, it also undermines the role of Max. Yes, the dog had a small but sweet role to play in the story. After all, he was the first one to have contact with Ariel. He also recognizes Ariel as the one who saved Eric's life, hence why he was always friendly towards her, whereas he was always hostile towards Vanessa. So taking his role and giving it to Ariel just to get a lame and cringy fight scene is dumb and stupid. Also, it was way more satisfying seeing Max just sink his teeth on Vanessa's butt as revenge for her having kicked his poor face than the girl fight scene in the remake. But that's female empowerment, I guess. So they basically swapped Ariel and Eric's places in this pathetic remake, because in the animated movie, Ariel was the one being attacked by Ursula, and Eric was the one sailing the ship, aiming right at her heart. This change makes no freaking sense or whatsoever. Ursula has no reason to aim all her anger at Eric. She wouldn't go insanely mad until her eels got killed, and the one who made Ursula accidentally kill her pet eels was Ariel, not Eric. This makes no freaking sense. Plus, Ariel killing Ursula makes no sense and undermines Eric's character. Eric loved Ariel to the point of risking his life to kill Ursula in order to save her. Had it not been for Eric, Ariel would have been killed. But more than just that, Eric defeating Ursula also saves Triton and all the mer people who had been enslaved by Ursula. His act of bravery will make Triton realize that he was wrong about thinking that all humans were bad, showing him that Ariel and Eric belong together, and in the end, he blesses their union. Glad that his daughter is happy with someone who proved to love her as much as he does. It was all connected. Now, why would Triton agree to give his daughter's hand to a man who did nothing outstanding to prove his worth before Triton, to the point of making him change his whole mindset and preconceptions about all humans being bad? Everything is undermined because Eric's act of bravery was taken from him and given to Ariel instead, except that Ariel had already saved his life twice in the animated movie. She did not need another act of bravery when Ariel was already shown being brave in saving Eric already, especially when the specific act of bravery belonged to someone else. This is yet another instance of empowering female moments being created at the cost of undermining other characters.
I didn't fight alone, Father. Eric was with me.
But he didn't do anything. So the acting by almost everyone was awful. Jonah Hurricane gave us the lowest energy male lead ever since Aladdin. And also Disney continues with this lame thing of giving a character a more made-up backstory because it's equal to more personality, when the only thing that results is just boring exposition scenes. Melissa McCarthy was a huge letdown because I actually had hopes that she would give a great performance as Ursula, but that turned out to be the opposite. Her performance wasn't good at all. Plus, original Ursula had some great sassy moments in the animated movie that made her a great iconic Disney villain.
So long, lovely boy.
Why, King Triton? How are you?
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
And I'm disappointed that Disney didn't mind including that aspect of her in this remake. And most of her scenes were so annoying because they were so dark. There were times I was actually squinting to try to see something. It really got on my nerves after a while. Javier Bardem was awful as King Triton. For 99% of his screen time, he just kept the same dull-looking facial expression. Even Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan managed to do better. And all Javier Bardem could do was just have the same bland dad-looking expression in his face. Even his voice sounded dull as heck. Hale Bailey has a great singing voice, and at least I'm glad she made Ariel charismatic enough, because the last thing I wanted to see in this remake was another obnoxious, self-entitled female lead like Jasmine and Belle. But I'm glad that wasn't the case because The Little Mermaid 2023 has enough issues already. But still, Hale Bailey's acting wasn't that good either, and sometimes her performance were so unnecessary hammy, and it just made the scene look cringe and forced in my opinion. However, Jessica Alexander was great as Vanessa. She was genuinely scary sometimes, especially when she gives that devilish laugh of hers. A rare Disney win, who could have thought? Sebastian, Flounder, and Scotto had terrible character design. I know they look realistic, but if looking realistic also means looking as bland and as dead as possible, then CGI realistic-looking animals is not a blessing in itself, and it only serves as arguments for why animation is superior to live-action films and why those live-action films should never ever be made. Needless to say that Flounder was the worst of them all. If Flounder's design does not convince the world that live-action remakes are a mistake, I don't know what will. It's the Lion King remake all over again. And also, Sebastian and Scotto's voice acting sucked. The songs were also a huge letdown. Some of them truly failed to emulate the same magic the original movie had, and everything about this new version fails. The remake version of Under the Sea was painfully mediocre, and it's amazing how boring it sounds and looks. It's just Hale Bailey mostly seated staring at a bunch of blue screen and CGI generated stuff as Sebastian's voice actor sings the most lackluster version of Under the Sea ever. Speaking of lackluster, let's talk about Eric's new song. It was simply Jonah Hurricane singing this dumb song, giving us one of the most cringe-worthy performances ever since Naomi Watts's brand new cringe song in Aladdin, and all the other songs were boring as well. But the worst song in this remake is definitely Kiss the Girl. It had the lowest energy performance ever, and everything about it was lacking as heck. The voice actors of Sebastian, Flounder, and Scotto did a terrible job at singing the song, not to mention how empty the whole scene looked and sounded. While the original song was vibrant and full of life, with all surrounding sea life singing along, whereas now it's just the three of them singing the lowest energy version of it yet. If you all want a nice cover of Kiss a Girl, then go listen to Ashley Tisdale's version instead. And also, something that caught my attention is how some instruments seem to be literally missing from the original song. The special effects were laughable. They were so bad I felt like laughing instead of feeling whatever it is this dumb remake wanted me to. So yeah, those were my thoughts about this movie. It's just another soulless Disney remake, struggling with the same issues as basically every other live-action remake before it. It misunderstands the core of the original movie and the characters' motivations, with bad acting, boring new songs, and at least 30 more minutes of pure useless filler. At least this movie is doing terrible at the box office, so I hope this will be the beginning of the end of Disney live-action remakes after 9 painful years. Because it doesn't matter how much money those remakes earn, if they do great or terrible at the box office. They all are eventually forgotten by everyone, and to be a memorable movie with people having fond memories of it and being appreciated by all generations is something that truly speaks tons about a movie's quality. And this is something that no Disney live-action remake has successfully achieved, regardless of the amount of money they make.